And here we have part 2. Probably more of the same, except with different characters. So, let's just immediately get started, because there's no reason to put it off. I'm gonna stay on normal. I might do a higher difficulty for, like, Kirby or Pikachu, because I'm somewhat decent with them. But yeah. So, as I pretty much talked about last time, well, talked about being the wrong word, but as I brought up last time, or at least made very obvious, I really don't have enough to say about this game to fill as much time as I'm attempting to fill. So, we're already off to a great start here, but I intentionally held off on doing any, like, childhood memories, or I thought this email was entitled Teddy Graham Memories, as the case may be. And so, we're going to be doing those this time. There's also going to be some sirens. And before I get to any of that stuff, I should also mention that for the 0.3 of you that are wondering, the February patron credits are probably going to be on Friday, maybe the week after, I'm not really sure. I've decided to kind of hold off on those a little bit, because anybody who's never worked with the website wouldn't understand this, but it actually takes like a few extra days to get everything fully processed in terms of like the payments and stuff. And so for all the well, yep, and I've fallen off. That was cool. For all the credits I've done in the past, what I would usually do is I would just look through the list, and then I'll either put on all the names that are there, or I'll, like, take out the ones that say, like, payment declined, because sometimes people will try to donate and then it doesn't go through. And, I spent a gratuitous amount of time yesterday, and I know that was the wrong word to say, but I don't care. I spent a really stupid long amount of time putting together this giant spreadsheet of, like, how much I've gotten from every individual person in every particular month, because it's something that I should have done a long time ago and just never did. And I'm gonna just basically update that every month, and I figure when I get the definite information to put in there, then that's what I'll make the thing. But yeah, so it'll probably be like at some point during the first week of the following month, or whatever it is. That was a really long and stupid explanation. I didn't need to go through all that, but whatever. There's also going to be an update video of some kind going over some changes to the reward system, but I don't know when that'll be. Probably in the next couple days. Damn. We're gonna launch the hell out of that one. So, I throw down a face down. Since I always like to showcase the general moveset, Yoshi's is pretty basic. Neutral B is you done got at, which in this game is not terribly effective, from what I can tell, unless, let's see if I can trick him into getting knocked off the edge here. Probably not. Okay, now he has control over it. What I would usually do in the later games with Yoshi is I'll do that, like, down A, or the down aerial flutter kick thing when they're in the egg, because it does a crap ton of damage. But in this one, you don't seem to have as much control over it, because I think the egg just has, like, a really low hitbox or something. But anyway, that's that one. Up A is the egg throw, which you can kind of aim a bit. It is not a recovery move in any way, unlike all the other up B moves, and I think I said up A, but whatever, you know what I meant. Then the down B is the bring hop. And there we go, yeah, let's see if I can get a KO with it. Possibly, yeah. And Yoshi's dead. That's a good picture right there. If this was still the period of time where I would actually put in enough effort to like get a screenshot for the thumbnail, then that would be the screenshot I'd use probably. Unless something amazing happens later. I don't know what could possibly happen that would be amazing, but I don't know, maybe something about a Clementine. Alright, so... going back to what I was starting to say and then didn't. Oh, and we're dead. Cool. I feel like I've probably talked about a lot of this crap in previous videos, most likely the Melee series, but due to a lack of anything better to talk about, I'll probably be repeating it. Also, those Mario and Luigi icons at the bottom, works of art right there. The Jigglypuff one's not too great either. But, I first learned of this game from the interwebs, before it was released, and that was actually a fairly big thing at the time, because this was, like, the late 90s, and the internet certainly existed, but I didn't have it at home, and it wasn't something that I would use very often, because I'd basically... piece of shit. I'd basically have to, go to the library or something, and we didn't go there super often. And when I got there, it was then a matter of deciding, like, if I wanted to bother spending several hours to look at, like, a few pages, because this was dial-up. You didn't really get to look at things quickly. Also, search engines were still kind of complete shit at the time, and if you didn't know exactly what website you wanted to go to, there wasn't much of a point to go online. But, one fateful day, I was at the library, and, happened to go to, like, Nintendo.com, and I remember it having, like, a little article or advertisement talking about this new game, Super Smash Bros., coming out, where it's like a crossover fighter, and it basically... I don't even think it named all the characters. I think it just said, like, your favorite Nintendo characters all together for the first time, and, like, it... I remember it specifically saying, like, have Donkey Kong fight Kirby for a hilarious match. I'm not sure what about that specifically is hilarious, except for, like, maybe the size difference, but I remember it saying that in those exact words. And I repeated those exact words when I, like, told a friend about it later on. Pikachu, are you gonna get stuck? I'm gonna try standing over here because somebody mentioned that Pikachu just randomly suicides if you stand over here, and I seem to remember that happening back in the day, so... if anything, he'll run into that box and get attacked by Pokemon, so that works. But, anyway, that was, okay, and we're immediately dead. Yeah, Yoshi needs a recovery move. But, luckily I don't really... oh my god! Oh my god! Luckily I don't, care too much if I have to, use a continue, but yeah, this is pretty bad. I think I was gonna say, I wanna say, the same time that I found out about this game, I also found out about Mario Party. I could be wrong about that, because Mario Party might have come out before this. And if it did, they probably wouldn't have both been on the site at the same time. But, that one didn't interest me as much. I never gave a single shit about the Mario Party series. First one I ever played was number 8, which people seem to think is, like, one of the worst ones, so make of that what you will. But, anyway, I kind of just read about it, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds kind of interesting, but it's a fighting game, and I don't really care about those. So it's like, I might try it out at some point, but whatever. And then I kind of forgot about it for a really long time, and then at some point in the future, I don't know how long it was, probably like a year or more, I was at some kind of school function. I don't know what the hell it was just some after-school thing, and I remember I hesitate to say the word friend, but a guy I knew was talking about the game, and his brother was there, and they were saying, like, how they got it, and it's super fun, and, yeah, I'm gonna have to redo both of these stages. I'm complete ass at these. And it's like, so-and-so always uses Kirby, and he's super cheap because he just flies everywhere. I always use Mario, he's more fair. Like, and so I think I rented the game, and not really having anybody to play it with, it was basically just the single-player experience, and this game is a bit lacking in that regard, but, eventually later on I played it with my cousin a few times and that kind of stuff, and eventually I bought it, and by bought it I mean I like got it for Christmas because I was a kid, I didn't have money. Really not sure why, because from what I remember, Melee was like right around the corner, and I didn't have a GameCube yet, but I was hoping to get one soon. So like, I don't really know why I bothered to get this game, but whatever. That's pretty much all I have to say on that subject. It was just kind of a game that existed. Oh, actually, come to think of it, this isn't an interesting story in any way, but just to add to the discussion, I guess. I do remember there was this other kid in my class who I was kind of friends with, and because this was like 6th grade and we were all immature assholes and nobody really knew what they were saying at the time, everybody always called him gay, even though he was not at all, and in fact was, like, rather perverted for his age and very clearly preferred the females. So, like, I don't know why we always did that, but we were kind of jackasses about it. And, somehow, the class just kind of collectively decided to, like, pitch in and get him, like, a good birthday present. I guess because we kind of felt bad that he was always getting made fun of by us. And so, like, it's just the stupidest fucking story. I don't understand it. Also, I like how I got Kirby ranks without trying. And so we actually ended up getting him an N64 with this game. And once again, looking back at it, I have to question why we did get him this game instead of something else, because he was an only child, and nobody was, like, really close enough friends with him to, like, come over to the house and play it with him, so I don't know. But that was my story, and I'm sticking to it. It was a grand tale of adventure and false gayness. But, I do have more to say, but I'm going to hold on to it, save it for sweeps, as you may, and see if I can get through the rest of this playthrough without losing my last life here. That would be nice. Now, I'd like to get a good shot at this. Like, there you go, yeah. Every other character has, like, a skeleton that you can see. Samus just kind of has, like, this weird mannequin thing. I guess because it's like you're supposed to be seeing the body under the suit. And of course, as kids, everybody was like, you can see your boobs! But, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't. And by pretty sure, I mean there might be, like, a triangle there. But that doesn't count. Alright, so I'm going to continue to use my aerial down A spamming strategy here, because it seems to be working reasonably well. Also, I am using the same controller as last time, and I'm still having the same problems with not being able to run and smash attack every time I try to, but so far I do seem to be having a little bit better luck. And there we go, cool. Cheap shot. Alright. I'm not sure what cheap shot means. Maybe that just means you spam the same attack over and over. I know in Melee that's called stale moves. I don't know if it's the same thing in here. And now I have a monkey dong chasing me. That's always good. Let's see, how often can I actually run correctly? It seems to be about 50-50. Or maybe less. It's like when I did my audio test before this, I was trying to run, and it seems to work better if I, like, give it a second before I actually try to run. But, I don't know. Yoshi versus the pie! Also, since in the last video I referred to the group of Kirbys as the Squid, and then immediately forgot what they were called, I will have to do the same in this video. 94% already? Good God. I'm just gonna... Okay, that actually is useful. I'm gonna spam eggs. I don't know how well they're gonna work, though. I guess it depends on where they're standing. Okay, Bumper, if you can take out most of these enemies, that would be actually pretty cool. I just have to lure them over here and hope that they are dumbasses, which they usually are. However, it disappeared immediately, so oh well. Hammer, mine. Can I frickin' get it? Okay. Still can't unhear that Banjo-Tooie sound effect. Alright. That actually lasted a fair bit longer than I expected it to. And here we have the beauty of... Wow, look at that purple outline on that thing. Also, I like Yoshi's eye being closed there. That's pretty good. But yeah, it's like, I think they had a purple outline, or like a purple background for the sprite, and then they like green screened it out, except did a very poor job. Not really sure why else it would look like that. Unless it was a creative decision to just have it look like shit. The thing is, like, I'm playing this on a flat screen, and that doesn't make it HD or anything, but it gives it better clarity than a CRT TV. But even back in the day when this was new, I still remember the Pokemon graphics looking fucking awful. So it's like, the game already didn't look that great when it was new, and it's aged even worse, I think. Shit! I really hate that. Now I have to do that whole thing again. If only I didn't randomly jump off the stage 5 times in the Pikachu part. For the record, the second time that I died there was because I was, like, trying to do this, and for some reason he didn't do it. Like, I think I might have been holding the stick at a weird angle, and he just didn't register the down B. But if that was the case, you'd think it would have done, like, the neutral B or something, and I don't know. Maybe I held the stick in the wrong direction and also forgot to press the button. That's my current theory. Alright, come on. Get out of here. Whoa! I'd like to move on to greener pastures. Or, more accurately, less green pastures, because I'm currently the green character and I will not be after that. Every character must be green, otherwise they're not worthwhile. Come on. So yeah. I was gonna pretty much cover this, oh shit. Cover this subject later when I went over each character individually in my, like, when I was a bab, this is what I thought segment, but, I will bring up the obligatory argument of, like, should Yoshi have counted as a separate franchise in this game? Or, more accurately, should Yoshi have even been in the game at all? Because, it's like, obviously they were kind of going for a, one character per series sort of thing, and then the secret characters sort of added one to the Mario and Pokemon, which made sense because those were big series. Yoshi's kind of a special case, because it's like, there are specific Yoshi games, but I've just always thought of him as a Mario character, and I'm trying to think, like, if they had kept the same secret characters in this that are in here now, what would the 12th have been? In a slightly different universe, it may have been Marth, because Fire Emblem definitely did exist, it just wasn't known outside of Japan at this time. I remember from interviews, Sakurai talked about, like, the other things that were considered, and I remember James Bond being mentioned because GoldenEye was so big on the N64. That would have been frickin' weird, and it would have set a trend for, like, non-Nintendo characters, or non-video game characters, for that matter. So, kind of glad that didn't happen, but it would have definitely been interesting if it did. I don't remember if Banjo-Kazooie was in the cards yet. That might have been in Melee, but either way, it didn't happen. I think he talked about, like, Mewtwo, maybe King DDD. I don't know why he would have gotten in, other than just Sakurai bias, but I remember that one being mentioned. And as far as Fire Emblem characters go, I think there was, like, a different character besides Marth that he wanted to get in. I know next to nothing about the series, but I'm tempted to say Hector. Was Hector in one of the earlier games? I don't even know. Hector or Leif, or something like that. But, yeah. Yoshi, you are great. I don't know what the hell that image is. Alright, let's take a look at these levels again, because I completely freaking botched them the first time. There we go. I remember never knowing how to get that one as a young bad, because I didn't really understand what a smash attack was at the time. And unless I'm completely misremembering, I don't think the normal A attack would actually reach it. Let's find out. No. What about... and the dash A shouldn't. Nope. Neutral definitely doesn't, so yeah, you have to smash attack that. Maybe down? Okay, so you can do it down also. Anyway, let's frickin' try to complete this stage for once. I'm honestly kind of surprised that hit. Okay, so for this I go like that, and then I go like that, and then I go like that again and hope that it hits. Then I do... come on. I'm gonna have to redo the stage anyway, but you can at least work with me. Why are you not down smashing? Oh my god. Okay, I can side smash. Oh my god, that animation. There it goes. Can we beat it under 1 minute? Surprisingly, yes. Okay, let's try that again. Maybe a little bit less shitty. Oh, actually, hold on. I don't know if that's actually faster, but whatever, we're gonna go with it. Could probably egg this one. Not going to bother. Now, if I can get the down smash on this one here, that would be great, because I don't seem to have enough momentum to hit it on the way up. And if I did, then that would save a lot of time. But yeah, I really don't want to sit here doing this stage for another 10 days. Here, go. That actually worked. And hit one maybe? No. Shit, come on. Okay, down smash. There we go. If I don't get it under 30, I'm fine with that. I just want to at least get close. That'll work. Break! And let's try this one again. I don't even remember why I died the first time. Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, I do. Because this level kind of sucks. I have to... ugh. Oh! Okay. Is there only one of those? I hope that's the case. Come on. And platform, and another platform, and then there's that one. That works. Alright, moving on to Kib. Now, Kib is actually pretty good in this game. So, this may be stupid, but I'm going to try very hard. This is the only character I'm going to do it with. I figure I've got to try it at least once. I'm probably going to regret it, but it's not like using continues matters at all other than taking up time, so... whatever. I mainly remember Kib being useful just because his aerials are kind of cheap. And I'm gonna continue to call him Kib. You can't tell me otherwise. Only the boomerang was actually useful in this. Hey, look, I actually hit something. So before we get too invested in what's going on here, usual character showcase. Neutral B obviously was the inhale, which then gives you the neutral B of whatever character you copied, so whatever. Up A is this, which is the final cutter. It's from Superstar. And then, if I'm saying A for these, then whatever. And here's down B, which is a lot more effective against computers than it is against real people. And it is quite effective against computers, so I'm fine with using it. Should I even bother trying to go for the color order in this? With it on very hard, it's probably not a good idea, but I'll attempt. Egad, ain't. Oh, wait, they're actually dying. Oh, and hit the wrong one. God. At this rate, I'm starting to feel like Yoshi Rainbow is harder to get than frickin' no damage clear. Oh, actually, I didn't even is no damage clear a thing in this? It probably is. Oh, jeez. Luckily, I don't give a shit. If this was a get all bonuses run, then I would have to, but that shouldn't exist. If somebody wants to do it, by all means. Are we sure this is very hard? Because so far it doesn't seem like it. I'm sure it'll get there eventually, probably with like the polygons. I'm actually imagining the Mario and Luigi fight to go kind of badly too. Yeah. Alright, so as far as other bad memories, I still don't know what the hell I'm going on about when I say that, but the only other really worthwhile thing for me to share about like personal experiences with this game is my exposure to the characters in this prior to this game coming out, because you kind of get all types with this. Like, you have people who knew every single character, you have some that only knew like Mario and Pikachu and nobody else, and then I'm kind of in the middle, so just going through them in order. I obviously knew who Mario was. I had an NES basically when I was born and played the Super Nintendo a lot, and the majority of the time I would be playing Mario, so I was intimately familiar with those games. Not really much else to say in that regard. Luigi, I've got to say, I never gave a shit about, and I feel like that's the case with most people, but I could be wrong, because there were always like all the different Luigi in Mario 64 rumors that existed back in the day, and like that's always one of the go-to things for like random schoolyard bullshit, along with like the Mew under the truck stuff. And I never actually experienced any of that myself. I never personally wondered where Luigi was, because I never really thought of him as being a character anyway. Like, in Mario 2 he was, but in every other game I never really had the opportunity for him to show up, because I never bothered doing like the two-player modes of him, so it just never really mattered to me. He was always just player 2, and I'm like, well, this is a single-player game, so he's not in this, so whatever. But yeah, Luigi I didn't give a single shit about, and I honestly feel like he's almost a waste of a character in this game, but he's probably just included because it's Super Smash Brothers, and he's the brother, and he was an easy character to make, because in this game he is very much a clone of Mario, not even really slightly different. They kind of changed him a little bit in the later ones. So that's those. Donkey Kong is another one of those things where, like Yoshi, I've always kind of considered him sort of a Mario character, except I guess less so in this case. Like, he shows up in the spin-offs, but that's about it. Other than the fact that the original DK arcade game was where they both originated. But yeah, played all the Donkey Kong Country games. Liked them all. They were just kind of ones I grew up with, so obviously I knew who DK was. Don't remember if DK64 was out at the time that this game was. I'm gonna say it probably was. Ooh, can I get like a 0% kill here? If I get lucky, maybe. Cool. I assume there's a bonus for that. Okay, so next up is Link. Link's a bit of a weird one. I've talked about this countless times before when talking about Zelda series in general, but I've had the stupidest exposure to Zelda. Like, there's the people who either grew up with the first game and got every game since then, or they like grew up with Link to the Past or whatever, and then there's the people who found out about it from Ocarina of Time and then stayed with it from there. I was not really any of those, and yet I was also all of them. Like, so just to kind of reiterate how that went, I already mentioned that I had an NES at the time that I was, like, basically when I was born, and Pikachu, you're a piece of shit. And with that NES were various games that my mom had, and the original Zelda was among them. However, that doesn't mean that I really played it. I knew that it existed. I mainly remembered it for being the gold one, and the very few times I ever tried it, I basically just didn't really know what to do. I remember loading up a file that had, like, the candle and some bombs, and that was probably about it. It might have done the first dungeon. I kind of even doubt that. And so, I remember kind of fiddling around with it a bit, walking around on the map, not really knowing what I was supposed to do. And, because I pretty much only ever played platformers, the idea of kind of a semi-free roaming adventure game where I have to find my own way and stuff was such a foreign concept that I didn't even really want to be bothered with it, so that was basically how that stayed for, I'm gonna say at least 10, 12 years. Like, I'm trying to remember, the first time I ever played through that game all the way was, I think it was, like, the summer between either 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th grade. It was, like, basically the day before the new school year started. I'm like, you know what, let's just frickin' play through this game, why not? And I, like, downloaded the map and went through the whole thing and had a reasonable time with it. Wasn't sure if there was a rousing platform there. What do I do here? I think I just go like this. So, that was that one. I had not heard of Zelda 2 at all. Link to the Past, I think I saw as like a demo at a Funko Land or something. And so, like, I knew it existed, but I didn't care about it. Didn't know about Link's Awakening, and the very first exposure I ever had to Ocarina of Time was at somebody's birthday party, where they were playing it, and they were in Dodongo's Cavern fighting the Lizalfos, and I also remember watching them do the playing Saria's song for Darunia and thinking that that was kind of funny. But I didn't really know what the game was. And so, when this game came out, going back to the thing I read on the website, I remember another one of the main kind of like bullet points for like what this game is and why you should get it was like finally settle the dispute of who's stronger, Mario or Link. And I didn't really know who Link was. Like, I think I might have been aware that he was the character from the gold cartridge game that I had and didn't play. Maybe. But that was about it. And so, Really, it's this game, and more accurately Melee, because of the adventure mode, like, castle maze level, that got me interested into trying Ocarina of Time and then sticking with the series, so... If anything, Super Smash Bros. Is good for kind of introducing people to series that they wouldn't try otherwise, because I am glad that I know about Zelda. There is a new one coming out in, like, a day, and it will be cool. So that was long-winded. Metroid, kind of the same thing as Zelda, except less so. I have an extremely vague memory of, like, renting the original one and playing it for about 5 minutes and then stopping. And it may be a memory that I've implanted into my own brain and never actually happened, because I really have... That's, if anything, that was the only knowledge I had. I remember something with platforming and a black background, and it might have been Metroid. It might have been Kid Icarus, but I doubt it, because I don't think I had ever even heard of that until, like, years later. So yeah, I'm gonna assume it was probably Metroid, but who knows. Then that was about it until this came out, and I didn't know who the hell Samus was, and like everybody else, I probably thought she was a dude until I read the character bio, and then I'm like, okay, whatever. And, eventually played, like, a half an hour of Super Metroid at my brother's dad's house. Specifically the part where you get the X-ray visor. I remember platforming through the room of spikes and, like, doing a bunch of wall jump bullshit to get to it without the grapple beam. That was pretty fun. And then eventually got into the series proper when I played through Prime, and then went back into all the others, so that was that. Oh god, I'm still only halfway through. Next, I guess, is Captain Falcon. I don't think I had ever heard of F-Zero, and when I like found out that Captain Falcon was playable in this, I remember thinking that he was a character from Pilot Wings. I had also never played Pilot Wings. And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he like an unlockable in Pilot Wings 64? I really don't know if that's actually true or not. Also, can we break this shield? Come on. There we go. And that did jack shit. Alright, whatever. But yeah, that was my extent of knowledge for Captain Falcon. Ness, kind of the same thing. I knew that Earthbound existed because I remembered seeing the giant-ass box for it at, like, video rental stores around the same time that the Virtual Boy was a thing. But I never played it. I didn't know what kind of game it was. I didn't know that Ness was the character from that game until I kind of, like, read up on it a little bit, but that's about it for that. Did not play through Earthbound until many years later. Tried it on emulator, got up to the second boss and stopped, and then did it again, got up to the second boss and stopped. Then downloaded it on the Wii U and beat it. It's a good game. Yoshi I already talked about. In addition to Mario World and Yoshi's Island and Yoshi's Story, I also, for some reason, had the NES game just called Yoshi, and I had played Yoshi's Cookie, though I don't remember if I owned it, so I had a freaking ton of Yoshi games for some reason. Never had Yoshi's Safari. I remember seeing commercials for it. That was the one that used the Super Scope, and I was interested to try it out, and I was like, at the store, I don't remember if it was a rental store or if it was just like a Walmart or something, but I remember being at a store where they had it, and I was like talking to an employee, and I don't know why, because I was like 6, but talking to an employee about it, and he basically said, like, you probably don't want to play that because the Super Scope weighs about 60 pounds. And I'm like, oh, well, that's really heavy. I'm not going to be able to do that. The Super Scope most certainly does not weigh 60 pounds, so I don't know why the hell he said that, but I don't think I was missing out on much. So whatever. Not really much else to say about Yoshi. Kib here. Kib's a bit of a weird one. Not as weird as, like, the Zelda stuff, but, I'm curious if anybody else ever had the same experience. I was aware of who Kirby was because I actually had the original Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy. I had Kirby's Adventure on NES. I had Dreamland 2. I think I had the pinball game. Superstar was definitely out by this point. I loved the hell out of that game. So I had played tons of Kirby games, but I've mentioned many times in the past that as a kid, any game that I played was pretty much always played with a strategy guide. I did not bother to figure stuff out on my own. I just kind of had more fun following the instructions, and that was about it. Never with Kirby, though. I don't think I have ever once seen a strategy guide for a Kirby game. Maybe in recent years, I think I've seen ones for, like, Epic Yarn. But, like, back in the NES and Super Nintendo days, I would get the guides for, like, the Donkey Kong Country games and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I never saw one for, like, Kirby Superstar or anything like that. So that was one of the first games I ever actually 100%ed without a guide. And so because of that... And I don't think I've ever seen commercials for the games either. I know they existed, because I've seen them on, like, YouTube, but back when the games were new, I don't remember ever seeing them advertised. And so I have to wonder if anybody else ever had that same experience and thought that Kirby was, like, a lesser-known character. I would credit the fact that... there was this one girl from where I used to work that thought that Kirby was, like, made up for the Super Smash Bros. Series, but she also didn't know that the Wii was a Nintendo console, so I don't necessarily put too much stock in that. But yeah, I think that's about it for that one. Star Fox, I knew the first game existed, never played it. Played Star Fox 64 and liked it. That's about it. Pokemon, I've talked about at great length. Took me, like, at least a year, maybe a year and a half to finally give in and actually try it, but obviously I liked it when I did. And, oh jeez, that would be about it. However, I did leave out one thing. This I've also talked about, so this is going to be the most freaking repetitive and useless segment of all time, but, when I mentioned that I had a strategy guide for pretty much everything, I'm not kidding, because I had one for frickin' Mario Paint. I know I talked about this during the Plock videos, but that was a long time ago and fairly obscure, but, basically the Mario Paint guide was just kind of something that, gave you various, like, ideas. It had kind of, like, sprites you could copy and weird, like, little setups you could make, and it was just kind of... It was just a book of ideas. Like, obviously there's nothing else that the guide could contain. The reason I mention this is because the guide had a page on Link to the Past. It had one on Star Fox. I think that's it, other than, like, Super Mario World, which is kind of a given, because there were already, like, pre-made sprites for that in the game. I don't remember Donkey Kong, Metroid, any of that other stuff being in there. Pokemon didn't exist yet, so it had an excuse, but yeah. I don't think any of those other ones were in there, which is weird, because it had Plock, it had, like, The Simpsons, Ninja Turtles... Had a lot of weird stuff. Alright, so... let me make sure I beat both of those stages. I think I did. Did I do them under 30? This one I didn't. Let's try it again. I assume I'll probably be breaking the video as soon as I finish this, but as with the last set, the next one will just be uploaded on the same day anyway, so... It is mainly just for the people who are like, I don't have time to watch an hour-and-a-half video, what do you think I am? And then I'll put out two 45-minute videos, and they'll be like, oh wow, look at all this extra content. It's a little bit dumb, but honestly I'm kind of the same way, so I can understand it. Okay, come on. Can we fucking do this? There's gotta be a way to do this. I mean, I know it's doable, it's just with this controller. Ugh! Make it! Make! Nope. We're gonna keep trying. We're gonna get it eventually. I don't know what this Wii is, I'm doing all the work here, but, come on. There we go, okay. This is going to be a world record of this stage, set by people with my name being played specifically on March 1st, 2017. Fuck you! Now I gotta do it again. Also, I was totally not ripping off Vinny when I said that. Not at all. I don't remember what he said it about, but he said it at some point. Come on, do this. I'm gonna give that one more try. If I don't make it, then I'll just frickin' wait for the next one, I guess. It's like the original Super Mario Bros. Speedrunning. You gotta wait for the bus. Also, that was inexcusable. Let's try that again. I can board the platforms. I still like this minigame, and I'm annoyed that it didn't... Come on, I totally should have made that. Annoyed that it didn't come back in any of the later games, but that doesn't mean it's not a piece of shit at times. Also, if Kirby would, like, actually do the rock move when I told him to, that would be kind of excellent, because he seems to be having some problems actually doing it. Alright. So I wasted a decent amount of time there, but we can still complete this under 7 years. I can hope. Alright, come on. There we go. Yeah, this is a long frickin' stage. I don't even know if I'm going to beat my old record. Even if I had made the first platform, that wouldn't have been sub 30. Whatever, we're sticking with it.